Hello everyone, my name is Gabby and I have a very special announcement. For the past few months my channel has grown a lot and I'm really thankful for that. But I've been realizing I don't really have a unique purpose behind it. I'm uploading vlogs and reaction videos, but I haven't made anything that's particularly new or different. Dragon Ball Misconceptions has been one thing and I've been enjoying doing that. But there's only so many topics I can cover in Dragon Ball Misconceptions. It's been a while, but I think I've worked it out. I think I've got an idea for a new series. It's called Tropes, Shonen, and Dragon Ball. Something that I find really interesting while watching Dragon Ball, especially when I watched it for the first time, was how it created a formula that inspired countless other shonen manga to come. Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, even some of the lesser known ones like Yu Yu Hakusho or Fairy Tail, they've all been inspired by Dragon Ball to some extent. One of my favorite websites in existence is tvtropes.org. I love TV tropes. I love tropes. I love stories. And I love deconstructing stories to see how they work in an almost scientific sense. If we're using the TV tropes definition, tropes are devices and conventions the writer can reasonably rely on as being present in the audience's members' minds and expectations. They're essentially writers' tools. I should give an example. Well, what about when a character calls out their attack before they use it? It's something you don't see often in real life, but you see it in anime and video games all the time, and you just accept it, even if it's just a bit weird if you see that realistically. It's a very, very broad category, and that's probably why tvtropes.org has so many pages. Almost anything can be considered a trope in some way. It's something that the audience accepts at face value, even if it might not make sense using the logic of real life. Dragon Ball is what TV tropes would call a trope codifier. It created a formula and it popularized tropes, story conventions, and character archetypes that later shonen material built from. So in this series, I'm going to look at some of the most popular and famous, and infamous, tropes in the story of Dragon Ball. I'm going to look at the reasonings behind them, how they were used in Dragon Ball, and how they contributed to the story, in a positive or negative way. Unlike a certain other web series about tropes, one thing I need to stress is that tropes are not bad. They're tools. Just because you can point them out in a story doesn't make the story of any lesser quality. It just means you've been watching too much TV. Okay, I joke. But back to Dragon Ball. The series is essentially going to be about deconstructing the story, the mythos, and the themes of Dragon Ball. But we're not searching for meaning. Instead, we're searching for purpose. Hopefully, by the end of this, we'll be able to answer questions like, what makes a badass? What makes an interesting character? How do you communicate a character's strengths and abilities? And perhaps, most importantly, how has Dragon Ball's formula withstood the test of time, even today? It's a question even I don't have a full answer to. So hopefully while I'm making this series, I'll be learning just as much as you are. My first topic for this series? Power levels. What are power levels? What were their purpose in the story of Dragon Ball? Why were they introduced in Z? And why were they phased out? In the end of the day, are they really that important? Hopefully by the end of that video, all of those questions and more will be answered. Perhaps I should have waited until the first video came out before I introduced this, but I'm just so looking forward to creating this series, I had to get the word out there. And guys, seriously, if you have a better idea for a name, tell me. The reason I've been delaying this announcement is because I didn't think the title was snappy enough. No joke. But I'll see you guys soon for Tropes, Shonen, and Dragon Ball, Episode 1, Power Levels. I hope you enjoy it!